Hey, guess whose time it is?
It is time to visit with the one, the only Matthew Archbold. Matthew, can't wait to spend some time with you. And I wanted to jump right into a story I was reading before we even went on the air this morning. Father Mike Schmitz on entering the story of God's sacrifice. I have to tell you, I'm a fan. I mean, he is so doggone good.
Yeah, my wife is a huge fan of him. And, I always said, I just find it a little weird, the guy with the strong jaw and the piercing eyes seems to be your favorite priest. I don't understand.
He's a very good-looking man. I just tell you, I was on the Ave Maria radio cruise, and he was the speaker, and he is so fabulous, just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's the Mike Rowe of Catholic priests right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But he is great. I mean, he the church really needs leadership right now and voices speaking out, and he does a beautiful, beautiful job. People should check him out on YouTube and many other places because his message is always spot on, and you can see. And that's one of the things I always look for. You can see how on fire he is about delivering that message. And it stands in stark contrast, to so many who right now are a little skittish about it, and there's a lot of silence going on out there right now. But if you look, you look back 2,000 years, Holy Thursday, this was the night where, Jesus asked his apostles, hey, pray with me. And what'd they do? They all went to sleep.
Yeah, they went to bed. Yeah, couldn't keep their eyes open.
Yeah, and one of them was betraying him, actively betraying him at that point. So the church has always been not great at doing things, but that is the greatest evidence of the Holy Spirit guiding the church. 2,000 years of us trying to mess it up, and we can't.
And I love this. If you open Creative Minority Report, you will see this article, Father Mike Schmitz on entering the story of God's sacrifice. Beautiful, wonderful. I strongly encourage you to read it. Right to the left. So that's one part of the spectrum. Then you go to the absolute opposite side of the spectrum. To the left is another story. What's on the mind of Matthew Archbold? My radio appearance on Annunciation Radio. Love doing this show with Ron and Dave. Honestly, I don't know how they get along when I'm not there. The Holy Spirit is very powerful, I guess. So there's the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear that when you have an open space on CreativeMinority.com, you have to put something there, right?
And I just want to make sure we understand. I have a strong jawline as well. It's covered by a second chin, but I'm telling you, there's a strong jawline in there somewhere.
Much like my abs,
Yeah.
they're in there.
They're there,
strong.
baby. They're there.
Find them.
They're shy. They're shy. That's all that's going on here.
So true.
Those of us who are humble, come on.
That is right. So have you heard about the great cover-up of? So there's women online actively questioning birth control, finally.
Oh.
And the Washington Post wrote a scathing article about these poor women who were questioning taking the birth control pill and just calling them science deniers. And even though the science is absolutely on these women's side, and now some of the big tech companies are shadow banning or banning their videos.
Wow.
So they can't get seen. And you look at what's going on in the world. That's what they're focusing on stopping. It's just insane to me that women can't be allowed to be women and do what they want with their bodies. The whole point, they always said, was women should have the choice. And now that they're questioning it, they don't have the choice anymore.
Oh, you're right. Wow.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know.
Don't confuse the poor populace with facts, right? I mean, you can't share all the information. We know what some of the downsides, obviously the most important downside, but scientifically the downsides are pronounced and they're well known.
Absolutely, and it's not even a question, and we find out more all the time. And and young girls are getting prescribed this, for everything from acne to cramps to everything. And you know, they say, oh, it's not for that. It doesn't mean anything. It's just something that's used. Well, there's plenty of things out there for acne. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to, you know, hormones that change how the body works. And it just says, you know, they don't want the family to be the cornerstone. They want everyone working in cubicles. They want everyone dependent on the state. They don't want families operating as units of love and faith in our world. And that's their nightmare. Yeah. When you have a self-sufficient, loving, faithful family with many children, that's the nightmare scenario for them.
And I love the way you wrap up the article. If you replace contraception and abortion with marriage and family, you don't need the state other than for law and order, which is the one thing they don't provide anymore anyway.
Right. And, you know, as is very evident this week, Jesus had a pretty famous run-in with the big state, and it didn't end well.
Yeah.
Well, it ended well, but for a while it looked really bad. Let's just say that.
All right, Matt. It's all there at creativeminorityreport.com. If you're spelling challenged, give us a call, and we'll spell it out for you.
God bless. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. We'll be right back.